Welcome to Scorched Earth and a general reading for the sign of Gemini, Sun, Moon or Ascendant for the month of September. I forgot what month it was altogether there. I hope you're well. I'm using the Tarot of the Abyss for you today. So, let's get straight on with this. Can I have 3 cards for Gemini, please? Thank you. First card that we have is the Page of Cups in your recent past. What was this? 7 of Pentacles flew out to the side. I'm going to put it back in. I'll just let you know that it's there. Can I have current energy for Gemini, please? Strength. Card of Leo in the Major Arcana. And what is coming towards Gemini for September, please? Oh, shit. The Knight of Pentacles. Interesting. We have the 3 of Swords at the bottom of the deck, but again, I feel sure this came up for you. I don't know if it was last time, I don't know. I feel like this has come up for you before. It's a second 3 of Swords that exists here in this deck, and it's a very different take. We've got the 3 swords present, but what we've got is somebody filling their mind with the important lessons from the things that have hurt them in the past. It's followed by the 3 of Wands. And the feeling that I have of this is that of a scouring almost of your mental database. In preparation for the next step of your journey. And you know what, even as I'm looking at it, it seems to me like you're trying to pull information from somewhere that isn't actually necessarily contained directly in here. As some of you are looking at past life regression, trying to take the wisdom and the experience that you've accrued in the past so that you can apply it in the present. There's quite an otherworldly feel, actually, about this. But for some of you, it may well be just your past. But others of you are going deeper. You're looking for answers in other places. But it seems very relevant to what you're facing right now, or what you feel like you will be doing soon. Okay. Sat with you, Gemini, for enough time now to know that as a sign, you are deeply spiritual and always looking for answers. It's this mental restlessness that characterizes Gemini. But I feel like you're looking for the answers in different places now to the way that you would usually do it. And it is your lived experience. It is understandings that you have gained, whether in this lifetime or another, or whether you're consulting your higher self about something. Intriguing. Tell me about the Page of Cups, please. It's got the fucking cards bumping out sideways. Let's try this again. Page of Cups, please. Thank you. We have the 4 of Pentacles in reverse. And we have the Devil in reverse. It's a good combination, I like that. Tell me about strength, please. For fuck's sake, I'm not taking the ones that are jumping out to the side. To the left only, please. Tell me about strength. Thank you. We have Knight of Pentacles again. And the Ace of Swords. That's your sword. Your sword, your ace, Gemini. Definitely looking for answers. Tell me about the Knight of Pentacles, please. Got the 7 of Cups. And the Queen of Cups. What an intriguing reading. We've got the Empress at the bottom of the deck, the archetypal mother, the Queen of Queens. She's a card of Taurus or Libra, depending on how you read. But she is symbolic of fertility, of abundance, of the creation of something new. And I can't help but feel like there's something brewing here for you, Gemini. Something that you are picking up intuitively without necessarily having any, you know, sort of direct indication that something is brewing, but yet there's still that feeling that it's happening. It's underneath there. Got the Knight of Swords underneath there as well, which is your card. There's certainly a sense of moving towards something abundant, but I don't feel like you have a clear path on this at the moment. I feel like it is all intuitive bumps and nudges, and it feels a little bit like you are being set up, but in the nicest possible way, for something, for a journey of whatever type that happens to be. And in response to those intuitive nudges, you're kind of scouring, like I said, these data banks with the information, the wisdom that you contain, that you hold, to find something that applies, to find something that just feels like it connects when you come across it. Now, in your recent past, you've got the Page of Cups. It's a lovely card. And again, we see somebody aboard a ship. The notion of journeying is really strong with you at the moment, Gemini. It could well be that your meditations have just actually kicked up a notch. Maybe in terms of frequency, but certainly in terms of what you are pulling from them at this point. The Page of Cups always indicates to me, well, all of the pages indicate to me this kind of change in direction somewhat, because there is the newness of the page, right? It's the lowest echelon of the court hierarchy, right? So if you were to continue on the road that you're on, well, presumably you would hit king or queen status. So when a page arrives, it's a kink in the road. It's going off in a slightly different direction, and one way you're not exactly starting again, but you're starting from a lower point of experience than where you have been in your current thing. And it should always be that way. You should always be trying to learn. So I like the fact that it's here, and it is emotional in nature. You know, we're talking about forgiveness and compassion and openness to, you know, a new set of ideals that seem to be coming together for you in some sort of way. And I really like the fact that we've got these two cards here that speak about you having done something really quite difficult and profound recently. Okay, bringing the energy of the page to what has been very, very difficult, right? So this is the Devil card here. It's the card of Capricorn. And it deals with all of those things that we find unpleasant. You know, we've got toxicity, codependence, abuse, you know, all of those very, very dark things. But ultimately what it talks about is fear for me, and your own internal fears, whatever cloak that wears for you, it's here. And the Four of Pentacles talks about that energy of clumping onto something, right? Both of these speak about being stuck or trapped in some sort of way. The fact that they both came out in the reverse is absolutely glorious, because it is slipping that leash of your own internal fears. It is turning around and looking directly into whatever face your personal devil holds for you and saying, no thank you, you have no power over me, and walking away, you know? And it's a shift in direction because this devil energy, this fear energy, is what percolates around in the subconscious. And more often than not, we're completely unaware that it is shaping our behaviors and our reactions, and even sometimes our belief systems. You know, sometimes it can send us into a complete state of mental gymnastics, cognitive dissonance, really, to try and hold two things that we know to be untrue together and still function. It's talking about leaving all of this behind, and this is something that would absolutely fit with the energy of the page here. Now this kicks up a notch when we get into your present energy, because we've got the Strength card. It's the card of Leo, and it talks about spiritual development. It speaks about empowerment. It actually speaks a lot about emotionally leveling up in a number of ways, because I do think, you know, emotional and spiritual development They run alongside each other. They run parallel. And where you have a slight change of direction with the page, in your current energy, that energy of strength is about taking that and running with it. It's a card of empowerment, and in some ways it seems to me validation and confirmation that you're on the right path. You may find that you are getting, well, you're getting a lot of nudges about a lot of things at the moment, but you certainly seem to be seeing a lot of signs that confirm that you're going the right way. And even though you don't quite know where you're going, and possibly you may not quite know where you are at the moment, this lion here is here as a companion for you. And there's no fear whatsoever, none. You know, you've gone from turning away from fear to not even acknowledging it at all. The Strength card is clarified by the Knight of Pentacles and the Ace of Swords. And I think it's quite a discreet set of cards for the energy that is going on underneath you. This doesn't feel like it's a particularly outward. Particularly outward facing behavior. It seems like there's something very, very important to you that you are looking into at this time. And you know, I've spoken before in the previous readings for you how it seemed like you were coming to this other place, one that other signs have been occupying for a while, where the 3D, you know, the stuff that's in front of you, it's almost like a lot of that is being completed on autopilot, because your essential resources are actually inward facing at the moment. The Ace of Swords can be creative thinking, creative expression, but it can be like that epiphany that hits from nowhere. But it is also the truth, and it's the truth that really strikes me as being the important part of this. It's a fearless pursuit of the truth. Now, what sort of truth is this for you? I don't know. We'll have a look in a second. But the page, the Knight of Pentacles is movement, as all the knights are. But unlike the others, it's pretty slow, it's pretty ploddy. But it is thorough. And it is consistent. Completely dedicated. You know, may not be making as much progress on this as swiftly as you would like, and that mental acuity of yours likes things to move quickly. But nevertheless, it seems to me that there's an understanding that this is how this has to happen. This is how this has to be done. And I see you being very committed to that. Tell me about this Ace of Swords. What is this for Gemini, please? Knight of Pentacles again. I mean, it's Virgo energy. And we are now in Virgo season. So it really is about paying attention to the detail. This seems to be what you're pursuing. It isn't necessarily one single universal truth. It is a myriad of small truths that come together to form a picture that you can't quite see yet. We've got the Two of Pentacles here, which is, you know, a card that talks about stability and balance and finding a way to juggle all of these things. But interestingly, it's got a lemniscate on it. It's that sideways 8, you know, the infinity sign here. And the only other cards that we see with that
particular symbol are usually strength and the Magician, which is, for me, a Gemini card. Simply because of abracadabra, you know, I create as I speak. Seems a very Gemini thing to do. Tell me what this is. Page of Cups at the bottom again here, but we've also got the Hanged Man now and the King of Cups. It seems like you're flipping something over and over and over, Gemini. You're looking for these small truths here. You're looking for the small pieces of the puzzle that are building up into something bigger that intuitively you feel is there. Whether this is a truth about you and your internal space or your relationships, or even maybe even higher philosophical concepts than that. I mean, you might be finding yourself rolling over some ideas of things that are, and looking for that point of alignment in you, looking for that point of recognition. You know, like, do we live in simulation and in a simulation, right? Is simulation theory the thing? What is the nature of consciousness? What is it to be human? Do you know? Could be big themes like that. But there's definitely a journey underway here, and it is a journey seeking enlightenment. The King of Cups, Scorpio energy, but it's about emotional mastery. Perhaps you're trying to understand the psychology of crowds, you know? And we're back to this slow movement, like the Hangman doesn't move at all. But I feel that's more indicative of your willingness to stick with this situation until it is resolved to your satisfaction, until you have the answers that you need. And in the meantime, you're just going to keep flipping it over and over and round and poking it and prodding it and pulling little bits out and going, is this you? And then, you know, if that recognition occurs, being, right, there's another piece right there. But you appear to be existing somewhere, for the most part, somewhere entirely outside of your physical self. You feel like you're absolutely dogged on this at the moment. I won't let it go. When we come to September, we've got the Knight of Pentacles again. That Virgo energy that is now, you know, 3 for 3 out on the table. And one can only assume it's a continuation of the state that you find yourself in at the moment, like looking for that important nugget, whatever it is. All the smaller pieces of it that come together to create a picture that you can feel forming around you. We've got the Seven of Cups and the Queen of Cups here. And the Seven of Cups is often about confusion, but it seems, particularly in the Triple Goddess, we've got all of those cups and she can actually see into all of those cups. But here, we've got that glass window between her being able to, you know, actually just go in and reach for that thing. She's got to go sideways and round and into the shop. And it seems like you may get all of your little pieces in September, but then knowing how to put them together may prove to be the difficult thing. We've got the Queen of Cups here, which is Cancer energy. And I always think that this Queen of Cups looks incredibly dissatisfied. She looks kind of pissed off to me there. It's quite a maudlin depiction of the Queen of Cups, which is not one that we're accustomed to seeing. Tell me about the Queen of Cups, please. We have the Three of Cups and the Five of Cups. Tell me about the Seven of Cups, please. And the Strength card. Feels like what you want in September, Gemini, is actually under your nose. As in, it's right under your nose. But for some reason, you can see it, but you can't quite get to it. Now, whether that's because you have all of the pieces and you're not quite sure how they fit together. But the addition of the Strength card here suggests that it's not quite straightforward. It's not quite just a case of picking up all the little pieces and then getting an understanding of what's going on. Like, there is more work to be done here. The Strength card also talks about, you know, resilience and that perseverance that occurs when things are challenging, you know. But this Three of Cups and Five of Cups is quite an interesting pairing. On the one side, we have a card that deals with emotional support networks, you know, that which we draw on, that which we, you know, contribute to. But we also have the Five of Cups, which is about loss. It's actually got three cups fallen over. Is this the loss of an emotional support network? And how does this relate to what you're understanding? I'm going to tell you about this Three of Cups, please. Seven of Pentacles again, and the Seven of Wands here. We have the Judgment card and the Queen of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, and it seems like you're going to need to make a decision about something that is less than satisfactory in your life. And maybe it's something that you've taken your eye off while, you know, you're on this internal journey, or maybe it is that it comes up and is now recognizable to you as a result of the work that you have been doing here. You know, the Seven of Pentacles is a situation that requires assessment. Like, it's not giving you what you thought it would. And so do you invest more, or do you pull out altogether? The Seven of Wands in reverse seems to suggest that there is no desire here to fight for this thing. There's no desire to defend it. Five of Wands at the bottom of the deck with the Moon. And the Two of Cups under here. The Knight of Wands is under here too. This looks like it could be some sort of difficult interaction, potentially with a Sagittarius, but certainly somebody that you've got a close relationship with, because we've got this Two of Cups here. But there's an internal conflict about what you have to do moving forwards, you know. It seems like the themes that are in here are quite disparate, but all entirely related. Maybe not consequential, one comes as a result of another, but certainly the situation is developing alongside. You know, the work that you are doing, that looking for information to explain this feeling that you have, is coming at the same time as a conflict of sorts. And maybe not actually an active conflict, but more a sense that something has been lost. And at this point, it falls to you, Gemini, to do something about it. Like, you're being called on to make the decisions with the Judgment card, and with the Emperor card here, you're being called on to take charge of this situation. But it's not something that sits easily with you at this point. If it's not a Sagittarius that you're dealing with, then it could well be someone who is displaying Sagittarian traits at the moment, and I would say that they were probably the less positive Sagittarian traits, you know, a lack of commitment, perhaps some selfishness, certainly self-interested, not being there as emotional support. You know, that which you thought you could rely on, actually turning out not to be the case. You know, there are 3 cups here in this card, and there are 3 cups lost here in this one. And whether this is a person or a group of people, it could be either. But it seems like it brings up a feeling of conflict in you. The thing is, the Wheel of Fortune and the 4 of Pentacles are underneath here. And so we can see this as actually consequential, right? One thing coming as a result of the other, because I'm coming back to this 4 of Pentacles here and the work that you have done on facing your own particular devil, whatever it is, and the things that you have released that have now created the space for you to be able to contemplate what is right in front of you and learn that there is more to release, there is more to let go of here, and you can do it without fear. You can do it without suffering and loss, because I don't think what you're losing is really worth the conflict that you feel about it. But nevertheless, it's here. And it's asking you to go in and have a look and see why this level of conflict exists within you. Is it a sense of loyalty through, you know, perhaps a relationship that has stood for a very long time, that now seems to be exhausted? There's just nothing in here for you, I don't think. Rather than being on the attack about it, I think that it's just time for you to pull away. And all of this seems to come together to help you with this picture that you've been trying to build for a little while now. It's quite complex and nuanced reading, Gemini. You're really doing something quite extraordinary here. I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to go over to Vimeo. If this has resonated with you at all, please feel free to join me over there. That would be the first link in the description box. The second link is the 6-month overview for all of the signs. We're going to go and pull this apart a little bit and see if we can't pull a more coherent thread together for it. So if you want to join me over there, that's cool. If not, no shade, that's fine too. Know that I love you all very, very much, and I will see you soon.